Hello again, Steven. So I may not have a job in a couple of months, which is a very startling realization. And what it took was a massive viral pandemic, a medical emergency, to cause this dramatic shift in the nursing career as we know it. Okay, so here's the train of logic. I'm in a hotel because I'm currently doing a couple of days down at my contract, so I stay in a hotel. If you watched my last video, you know that I've been staying in a hotel while I've been doing my work days down during this contract, so I don't have to make the hour-and-a-half commute 6 days a week. So today is one of those days I'm in a hotel. Okay, so the logic in this is the pandemic happens, everybody panics, everybody is told to stay home, everything shuts down. People do stay home, and one of the biggest places they avoid is the hospital. The last thing people want to be doing during the middle of a pandemic is going to basically the epicenter of the virus, the place where they know they could possibly catch it. And it might seem a little bit weird because an emergency room sees emergencies, but most of the people we see in the emergency room are not there for an emergency. Most of the people that really increase our numbers in the emergency room are there for fairly non-emergent complaints. And then when the pandemic started, these are the people that just stopped going to the emergency room, which is good, but it's also bad for the nursing career. This is mostly coming from an emergency room perspective. There are other specialties that are getting hit, but there are also specialties that are really not getting hit. So census is dramatically down in the emergency room. The hospital I was at before this, it was so down that every single night they were sending staff members home because they were so short. We could close down parts of the ER. We didn't even need to leave the whole thing open because we didn't have the number of patients to support having the entire emergency room open. And the staff they're sending home are having to use their paid time off to make up those hours that they're not getting to work actually on the floor in the hospital. And so the hospitals are realizing with the numbers way down, they don't need to staff travelers anymore. The staff that they already have is more than sufficient to deal with the number of people they are seeing in the emergency room right now. And so the shortage of travel nursing emergency room jobs is very real in the country right now. Just to kind of give you a rough idea, I can sign on to my company's website and see all the jobs available in the country right now. And usually for an emergency room nurse, there would be 500 to 600 jobs available, and right now there are about 50 to 60 jobs available. That's a dramatic decrease, but you also have to consider that a lot of those jobs aren't real jobs. Hospitals will post a position on the website as a posting, even if they already know who they're going to be hiring for that post. So in that case, it's not a real job. They just had to make that offering official to that person by posting the job on the website. So if I were to see that posting and actually pursue it, nothing would come of it. It's not a real job. And so when you knock off all the jobs that aren't real, I've been hearing numbers as low as single digits for jobs all over the country for an emergency room nurse right now. To answer a couple of questions you didn't ask, do I have to get an emergency room job? For the most part, yes. In my case, emergency room is the only thing I've ever done. I went into the emergency room right out of nursing school. I got 2 years experience and then I started traveling, and I've been doing this for a little over 3 years. So to switch specialties while you're traveling is kind of hard to do because most travel jobs, if you're going to be a travel nurse, they want you to have experience in that area. For example, I were to find an ICU job, I have no ICU experience. Most hospitals are not going to hire a traveler in an ICU that has no experience. And they shouldn't, because for travelers, the assumption is you are experienced and you already know your stuff, so that when we orient you to our hospital, you don't need the 6 weeks that a new person to this unit would usually take. For a traveler, it usually would be like 2 to 3 days. So that's why I'm kind of stuck in my specialty, and I'm stuck to looking for the jobs that are applicable to me, which kind of don't exist right now. But I am extremely fortunate because I do have a job right now. I have a contract in Maryland. And so the hope is that things are going to start picking up. Things are going to reopen, people are going to start going back to the hospital, numbers are going to go up, and I mean, logically, then travel positions should reopen and should basically go back to the numbers like they used to be. So the plan for me, as it stands right now, my contract in Maryland is going to be up in the second week of August. If things are starting to open up and return back to normal, we're going to look for a new job and move to a different place. That way we leave the apartment we're at in Baltimore, we get a new contract somewhere in another part of the country, and we move there. If things are not looking like they're returning back to normal and there aren't contracts, I'm going to have to look to extend the contract that I have right now. And in that case, we would probably move out of the apartment in Baltimore and move somewhere closer to down here in the southern part of Maryland. If I were to guess right now, I would guess the second option is probably the most realistic of what we could expect to happen. So what I'll probably end up doing, we'll extend the contract another 3 months. I'll get a month-to-month apartment lease somewhere closer so I don't have to commute. And then at the end of those 3 months, hopefully at that point, things will be getting back to normal. It's not like my profession is over as we know it. This is just a massive hiccup that nobody could have seen coming. So very happy to have the job that I have right now, and looking to the future with some sort of optimism, and we will just see what happens. But I will keep you updated, and Steven, as always, I hope they make a video soon. Hope that you and Harvey are staying safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.